Good morning, Kipsters. Let's take a minute to review narrator's point of view before we move on to the model video. Today, I filled in the blanks with the appropriate words in all caps, but tomorrow you will be asked to fill in those blanks. So as we see, number one, our point of view is the perspective from which the narrator tells a story. This is the way the narrator views and experiences their world. Number two, the narrator is the person or voice that tells the story. The narrator doesn't always have to be a human. I would think about like Woody, the doll in Toy Story. Number three, different narrators can tell about the same events in different ways. Just remember, there's always two sides to a story. And so different narrators have different viewpoints and experiences of similar events. One thing I use to help me remember first, second, third person point of view is I think about proximity, what's closest to me. So first person is using those clue words I or we. I'm the closest to myself. I'm first person. Second person. That's using the clue words of you. You're right next to me. You're second person. And third. These are the ones that are like way over there. These are the he, she's, they's, it's, and all the others. So now let's put our knowledge to work. First, we need to read the text out loud. So let's look at this portion of the text and try and figure out what type of narrator the poem has. I am the printer. My job is to keep folks informed. I write, edit, compose the type, operate the press. When my husband and I opened our small shop, news of the king's birthday, missing cows, runaway slaves, filled the paper. How times have changed. Step 2. Look for those clue words. I'm going to highlight them in the text because it's what you're going to be asked to do later. But first, Kipsters, type into the chat. What clue words do you see in the text? Teachers, pause. Great, I saw you all working hard to identify those clue words. For me, what really helps guide my thinking is I see those words I am, my job, I write, my husband, our shop, our small shop. These are all clue words to help me understand the narrator. So now that I've identified those clue words, I'm ready to move on to step 3. Determine the type of narrator. I first want to see what you all are thinking. Kipsters, into the chat, type first, second, or third. So I know which narrator you're choosing. Teachers, pause. I agree with so many of those Kipster responses I saw in the chat. I also think it is first person narrator. I know this because when I reviewed my clue words, I saw that the first person narrator is using a lot of their own perspectives and views of the world because she's talking about herself, her husband, her printing shop. So Kipsters, just to point out, if this were a third person narrator, we would see an outside person talking about this printer. Like, she is a printer. Her job is her husband. But as we see, this is a first person because she's the printer and she's telling her own story. Good luck with the guided practice, Kipsters.